Y'all, this is Donnie. I'm back today to show y'all something new that I bought. This is a storage rack. It's called the Ribbon Holder Storage Rack Organizer. This is a 3-shelf unit, and I got it from an eBay seller called giftcab, giftcab. This ribbon rack, it does not use dowels, and that's what really drew me to it. When I looked at it at first, I thought, ooh, that's a lot of money. It's like almost $40, and then of course shipping. But for $51 total, this is what I got, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm holding my camera. I don't have it on a tripod, so please, I'm sorry about the shakiness. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to show it to you a little closer. What I have on here are Hug Snug seam bindings. My Hug Snug seam binding is a slight bit too large for this unit, but only because of the way the unit is set up. If you were to use it for ribbon that's on little spools like this that you get at Walmart, let me measure it real quick and I'll tell you how big it is. It would hold many of those. These are all the way across just over 4 inches. Hug Snug seam binding and the regular, let me move this over here. Y'all recognize that, the Hug Snug. It is a little bit over 4.5 inches, and this rack was intended to hold 4-inch and less ribbons. Here's this one sitting here. I hope I can, anyway, give you an idea of it sitting there. And it has plenty of space. The way the rack was made, though, is ingenious, and this is really remarkable. I was at first a little scared to get it because I wondered if my Hug Snug would fit on it. And I thought, well, I have enough other ribbon if I unpack it that when I get it on here, it may fill it all up. But I really wanted it for my Hug Snug seam binding. And when I got it, I was not unhappy. I was very happy, ecstatic. It's very neat how they made this unit. And a number of little tricks to it, too. Now, I have it, let me show you real quick. I have it sitting on my table. There's where I work, and I have it sitting rather far back, but there's a purpose to that in my thinking. I'm not going to need to access my ribbon frequently, like more than maybe 2 or 3 times while I'm working on something. And so if I do, all I need to do is either reach for it, grab the color I want, or just stand up where I'm at and pick the right color. Unfortunately, I'm under fluorescent lighting, and so coloring is different what you see than what I see. And there are some shadows in here. I have some bulbs out in this fluorescent thing above my head that make this really hard to do. But these are the different Hug Snug seam bindings that I have up here. If you'll look at the front of this unit, you'll see that there are 2 things that I had just never seen before. In fact, 3 things I see now. The first one, let me get my hand up here, is this band. It's literally a thick rubber band. It goes all the way around the cabinet, above and under, all the way around like a big, huge rubber band. And it's flat, and it holds the ribbon down. Then all you do is pull, whoops, one at a time, pull your color ribbon that you want. Hard to hold a camera and do this at the same time. Pull it out and cut it off. Now, Hug Snug seam binding is on, like I said, a little bit larger roll than what this is purposed for. And the reason I say that is I think it's because of the holder here. Let me move this one. This one was too big. I got this from Hug Snug. This was the Winter White. It came in a much larger roll for some reason. But The unit is made with this little bar going across here. Easier to show right here. I'm one-handed, so it's hard to do. If you take it, move it with both hands, one on one end and one on the other, it will slide up into these grooves, and you can remove and replace your ribbon as you need. Hug Snug is a little bit different because it's larger. I found that I could not roll, you'll see why right up there. I couldn't roll this bar over and above the ribbon because the holder, the cardboard holder for the Hug Snug, is just a little too big. But what I did do is, I'm going to undo this little clasp. It's an elastic clasp. I'm going to take it off and set it aside. And then I'm going to move this little piece of wood over. It's a holder. And that little holder, it almost looks like a little alligator eating the shelf. It slides back and forth to where you need it. But the easiest way for me to add my seam binding was literally just to push it in over that. I don't know if I got that in the camera or not, but just push it in and just set it aside, and then I'll hook that back up. So Hug Snug will fit. I had, there they are. On my bottom rack, you'll see some little bitty ones. I've cut them down. When I bought them at a garage sale, those little ones down there, now I'm going to sit down, excuse me. I'm leaning, so that's hurting my back. But when I bought those at that garage sale, they were cut as a square. Somebody had cut, used them and cut them down to a square. Well, the square, of course, doesn't work. So I trimmed them to the round, and they work fine on here. And they hold in there just fine. If I use those, I can fit 25 Hug Snug seam binding spools on a rack. I'm sorry, on a shelf. So this whole thing would hold quite a bit. Now, I'm going to show you the top shelf. The top shelf does not hold Hug Snug, FYI. And that's because of that board back there that is the holder for the rack if you want to put it up on the wall. And it also is a stabilizing piece. I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Look, I still have tons of room for more seam binding. And I'm going to need to have a shelf anyway for my other types of ribbon once I unpack those. So ultimately, this is, for me, going to be perfect. I can still add lots more seam binding if I want to. And that's what I bought it for, was for my seam binding. I have 33 rolls. If you count the little bitty rolls that I have in here, I think I've got, I don't know if that's one on the far left. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the little bitty rolls in here, but everything else is full size rolls. So anyway, that was my new little thing here. My new storage thing. Let me give you some information so that you can find it if you're interested. Below is the URL code. I will add that to it. And if you look on eBay, which is where I found it, under Ribbon Holder Storage Rack Organizer. That's Ribbon Holder Storage Rack Organizer. The seller again is giftcab, giftcab. I believe she's located in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm trying to hit a few buttons left-handed, and that doesn't work too good on me. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. I asked her permission if I could do a YouTube video and show it to you, and she said, of course. Oh, by the way, I just now noticed on the left side, they have, on the middle rack, they have added a cute feature on both the left and the right sides, is an opening. They send you a measuring tape, and then the same opening on the other side, so you can put it on either side, and it has a spot you can hang your scissors. Small pairs of scissors probably wouldn't work, but anyway, then you'll always have a pair of scissors handy and a measuring device handy so that you can measure the amount of ribbon you want to snip off. And that was great. There are additions to this unit. You can add, I noticed some shelving either above it or below it and make it taller. And I think there's also feet you can add to the bottom. Oh, I didn't really show y'all this little feature. This little piece right here that I moved earlier that looked like an alligator, I said, it slides back and forth. And when you load up your ribbon and get it all loaded up, you take this little band, start underneath. There's a little groove it fits in. I can't do this on video, y'all, with one hand. Let me switch. There's a little groove under it. I just put it in the under groove first and snap it over to the top groove. And that's what holds it in. It holds up wherever you want it to, as much or as little. It can slide all the way over to the far side, either the left side or the right side. Is that right? No. You can move it. You can move it far to the left and load it from the right to the left, or load it to left to the right, is the way I did it. So, and it slides all the way across. So, obviously I have desk mounted or set mine on my desk. I have a stool. I wanted to raise this up because I have so much stuff in front of it I needed to reach. But I raised it up by setting it on a piece of wood on top of a little stool that I painted pink that I like. So I left it up here for now. And I may move it around, you know how I am. But for the money, I'm very pleased. My Hug Snug is now all in one place in front of me where I can access it and enjoy it, because you know I like my colors of Hug Snug. And I hope you all enjoyed the video, got some ideas from it. No dowel rod. You don't have to mess with a dowel. Just lay your ribbons coming from underneath forward under that little strap and you're good to go. So anyway, just wanted to share that with y'all. I thought it was a great find. And if you're interested, just pop over there and have a look and see what you think. Y'all take care. Thank you. Bye.